Thank you for auditing the Always Positive New Music Review Show, hosted by a French professor. I can't figure out my hair. So I don't blame you. You know, you see, you can just click on by because it's in a weird middle stage. But that's fine. I'm going to be talking about the new album, Underdressed, at the Symphony by Faye Webster, produced by Drew Vanderberg, who I think has produced all of her stuff. And I was listening to this last night. You know, in general, there's certain music that I know my family will like, other music that they might like less. And I knew that my wife especially would really enjoy just the vibe of this album, the songwriting, the singing, all of it. And my daughter as well. So we're sitting there, we're eating, sweet potatoes, broccoli, and some quinoa. And just really enjoying the music. and my wife said, "So what are you going to say about it?" I was like, well, I think it's interesting because it sort of has the courage to be boring. And both my wife and my daughter were like, "Oh, snap, slam, da, da, da." And that wasn't my point at all. I wasn't trying to slam the album. I really meant it. There is a kind of relaxed ease that you just don't really see outside of like instrumental music or maybe outside of electronic music. Just the amount of space that these, you know, this singer and this producer and these musicians give is really refreshing and nice. Now, normally I'd be reviewing this at my house and I'd be able to hold up the CD. What this reminded me most of is one of my least favorite albums by one of my favorite artists, which is to say an album I still like quite a bit, Harvest Moon by Neil Young. If you don't know, it's 1993, I want to say. And you know, Neil Young's famous for going between sort of proto-grunge and kind of punk music and electronic music and then country music. And Harvest Moon was this album that came out in 93 that also had the courage to be, at times, kind of boring. Maybe that's why it's my least favorite. Instrumentally, it's not country, but it's not like if you liked country, you would revolt against it. Nice, clean guitar lines, no distortion, lots of beautiful pedal steel. That's really what this album feels like as well. Much like that album, a lot of this album is about joy. A lot of the Faye Webster album is about sort of simple joys that come from love, about a search for love. There's also some amount of complexity about like the inability to really access joy because as a modern person where our pleasure receptors are kind of burned out. Maybe the most interesting angle, I think, lyrically with this album is she's very funny, right? Like she has a very funny sense of humor, and that comes through, but it's a very dry sense of humor. I mean, she's not the only singer-songwriter who I cover who's funny, and not even the only female singer-songwriter who I cover who's funny. But the way that she does it is very dry. She has a very sort of dry affect, a dry way of singing things. She delivers punchlines, you know, sort of in that way, like, you know, really funny people who have a dry sense of humor, who aren't like wiki, wiki, wham, wham, wacky, who are just like wiki, wham, wham, wacky. You know, that's the kind of delivery that she has. And in particular, what I find interesting is she's describing a difficulty of adulthood. I would call it young adulthood because I think she's in her early 20s, young compared to me at least. But it feels like it's that process of going from early adulthood to just normal adulthood. And I hate to say it, but a lot of this album feels like it's about the difficulty of adulting. Now, I just said that word. And if you haven't already clicked off this video because I can't get my hair to not look goofy as hell, I look like someone said I looked like I was in a late 90s boy band. I'll take it. I think I look like Dennis Hopper in the Super Mario Brothers movie. just what's going on. I can't do anything about it. We went too far, Angelo. We went too far. But I am going to use the term adulting. This term that's come up in the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years, about the difficulty people have just sort of going about their life and just doing all the things that they need to do. I am not ready to do some kind of extended gender study on this theme. I mean, Charlize Theron was in that movie, what was it called, Adulthood, Young Adulthood, one of those things, where she played this kind of character, this kind of failure to launch female woman who's incapable of becoming an adult. And I swear to God, there's got to be some kind of interesting thing written about this phenomena where we have all these figures. I'm sure it's already been written for that matter, but it's probably only through like the lens of a TV show like Broad City or like Girls, where there's this, for a long time, all the kind of slackers were always just young dudes, you know, like me. When I was in my 20s, all the movies were about slacker dudes, and I was a slacker dude, and we could all just be slacker dudes together. Now there's slacker ladies. And I think that's actually a sign of a step towards progress. You know, that women, at least in more privileged societies, have the ability to just sort of be like unsure people, not really knowing what they're doing and trying to figure out where do they fit in larger society. Hell, even Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure came back with their third movie, you know, sort of doing a gender swap there. At the center of this album as well, I think it's Atlanta. I mean, this is the second time I've reviewed her music. I actually started reviewing her last album. I have notes in my notes app. It just says country-8. I don't know what I don't know what I meant. I don't think I had anything new to say about her at that point. That's why I didn't say anything. But she's a pretty interesting figure because when we think about Atlanta as a cultural center, we always just think of rap music. And she's also part of the rap scene because she's a photographer. You know, she's a photographer. And she's not the only important photographer in Atlanta. Lil Yachty's father was also a very prominent photographer of rap, you know, 20 years ago. So it's funny and interesting that she works with Lil Yachty on this album. Apparently they went to the same middle school together. I think that tells you a lot about the interesting life experience, the sort of cosmopolitan nature of Atlanta itself. And we'll talk more about that when we get to it. But I really enjoy that as sort of like a nexus point of like, what is Atlanta? Atlanta is a very important, prominent internet rapper, and it's the whole dungeon scene, and it's all the future and all the trap development and Migos and all that. But it's also, you know, young white ladies who are just trying to figure their way in the world. And if they eat breakfast before lunch, then that's a good thing. So, good. So before I give you more examples of this album, please smash the like button. Please subscribe. I'm in a small amount of physical discomfort for you, which I will explain why in 4 songs. Maybe that'll earn a like. Maybe my self-effacing nature with my just whatever's going on up here. Maybe that'll help you. Or maybe it's because, let's see, I can show you one of my toys here. You know, maybe it's because I got a 1960s Batmobile right here. That might get you. That might get me a like bucket smashed. If you put in the letters AVAA, that stands for awesome video as always, anywhere in your comment, I will thumbs up it. I got a fair amount of comments asking me to review this, so I'm excited. Okay, my example song is the most boring song. I'm saying boring, and okay, that's a pejorative term. The most space-given song? It's the opening track, Thinking of You. Just simple drums lead into some straightforward rock, very much in that Harvest Moon era. Just the sweet singing piano, straightforward lead guitar, lots of great lead all the way through, sometimes double guitar, and then just the way that she pronounces thinking about you, like thinking about, the way that she pronounces it, it actually reminds me a little bit of Cartman from South Park. Or as my computer auto-corrected, like Cartoon from South Parts. It's kind of like Cartman from South Park, but it gets drilled into your head because she repeats it. Not once, not twice. Over 25 times does she sing thinking about you. And that's the space, and that's the greatness of this album, I think, is in that space, in the jazzy, cool interaction between these musicians. You know, the drummer's doing that thing that Ralph Molina from Neil Young will do as well, where you just kind of play something simple on a hi-hat. Okay, play something simple on a ride. Okay, play something simple. It doesn't need to be there. The song is so long that it stops, and you think you're done, and then it comes back again. But you're happy when it comes back. Nice little xylophone at the end as well. Next track is called But Not Kiss. Not to be confused with Kiss Not But. Which is really musically it's playing on sort of long short. So it's like ba-da 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 da da da, right? So it's long and short. I want to sleep in your arms, but not kiss. Do 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 do. It's funny because I say it's boring, and I mean that as a compliment in this way. Now that I've phrased it, but it also is catchy quite often. Now, lyrically, I love this. I love this. I want to sleep in your arms, but not kiss. See, I'm a happily married man now, so I don't sleep in anyone's arm but my wife. My wife. She's my future wife. But when I was in my early 20s, I think I friend-zoned it a lot of women. So, like, I would actually sleep in bed, like, with my friends who were women. And not kiss, you know, just hang out. Just why not, you know? It's late. Just stay here. I remember doing the same thing with this other woman. You know, I was into her, but didn't do anything. Just hung out. It's okay. You know, like you can have that kind of intimacy. It doesn't have to lead to kissing. And I just find that really, really relatable. And I think it's nice because the term friend zone obviously is a difficult pejorative term, which is primarily used by people in the incel universe. It's okay if we just exist with each other. And just this great sort of yep bit here, like a little tiny, like the first song is so long and extended and cool. This one's a little bit more specific. Yep. Very cool. I like the way it does that. My baby, I have a 17-month-old baby who was just grooving out to this song, and she doesn't speak yet, but she was even like, nah. It was very cute. A little bit of quiet after loud, some dynamics which were missing from the last song. Again, I want to see you in my dreams, but then forget that long, short play here. Catchy melody all the way through, and then at the end it's just that yep. I want to quit all the time. More of that great breezy pedal steel. Very just breezy, the whole album. The whole album's very breezy, very Harvest Moony. I stopped drinking really for no reason other than seeing you drunk outside. I used to be self-conscious. Well, I still am. I'm just better at figuring out why. So much of this album I would say you could rename Figuring Out Why. She's just trying to figure out why she is the way that she is. I guess not drinking, not because she has problems with it, but because she's embarrassed being seen by someone else. It feels like there's a great love in this album. It feels like she feels a great love for somebody. It seems like a man. Like she feels a great love for a man, and then this is largely about that love relationship. But then the chorus is kind of non-committal. I think I'll figure it out. You get what I'm saying? Like as a great slacker album, like if I was a woman in my mid-20s and I sort of figured my life out but sort of couldn't, I could imagine this album just being like, yeah, that's absolutely it. Seems like she talks about wanting to quit music. Nice little instrumental jam, guitar solo, beautiful. Then we get to Lego Ring, featuring Lil Yachty. Cool kind of loud guitar buzzing, kind of grungy style. You know, obviously Kurt Cobain is one of the most important musicians on modern rappers, right? It's just a weird thing. Maybe hear that there. And this whole theme, it's the most modular production where it's like stop and start. The chorus is very slow and languid, and then the verse is very kind of punchy. And it's all about this idea of a Lego ring. That's what this has been. That's what you've been wondering about. You see, I dissected the Arc de Triomphe that my son made for me. See, my son made this. If I were at home, I had like thousands upon thousands of Lego pieces I could have turned into a ring. But this is all I had in my office. So I spent about the last half hour, I'm not too good at Legos making this. And let me tell you about a Lego ring, okay? A Lego ring is not particularly comfortable, right? Legos are not known for their circularity. They are known for their squareness, their blockiness. They are famous for causing pain when you step on them. I live in a house with thousands of Lego pieces. I've never stepped on a Lego, so I'm not going to make that tired joke. I'm sure it hurts, but some of us keep our houses clean enough to not step on Lego. Actually, I built a wall. I made sure that I told the kids, if there's ever a Lego on the outside of the wall, that Lego might go. Like, they just might not find that Lego again. Kept it in check. Anyway, so this, Lego ring, it's pretty uncomfortable. But what I like about this theme is, what is a Lego ring? And I think what the Lego ring actually is, as I take it off here, is that I think it's supposed to be a metaphor for a wedding ring. That like even a wedding ring is even as smooth and golden as this one is. There's a level that it's sort of uncomfortable. It's sort of something you have to get used to, and it's something that symbolizes something. I know what I like, I know what I want, but you know I kind of need. It's like this Lego ring that she wants, this kind of cumbersome thing that might seem counterintuitive is actually something that she desires. So that's what it feels to me. And anytime you say, I want a ring, put a ring on it, you're obviously thinking about it, no matter what, if it's Lego. Thank you for allowing me to take that off. And then, you know, Yachty is joining in sometimes on the back, like, oh, you know, and then he gets his own verse. Okay, how do we define this verse? Dream team, always together, like string beans. Let's see here. Okay, let me just see if those words rhyme here. Yes, they do. String beans and dream team, those words rhyme. It is therefore, that's a rhyme. We can say that. We can say it's a rhyme. Always together like string beans. I looked it up. String beans aren't always, they're not always together. They grow off, I mean, I guess they grow in bunches. But anyways, I like it because it's clear he's having fun. It's clear it's a moment of joy. It's really nice having them work together. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel pandering. It just feels like two people showing each other some mutual respect, making some music. That comes through in the video as well, where they're playing some kind of version of Guitar Band. It's great. But that's not the centerpiece of the album. The centerpiece of the album is the next track, Feeling Good Today, where it feels like she caught auto-tune from Lil Yachty. Like Lil Yachty was like, I don't want a little good, and she's like, I'm feeling good today. Hey, I know I can only talk like this. This is you know, it's what ends up happening. But she just narrates her life, and this is that great. Listen, I graduated high school in 1995, and I still talk like Christian Slater when I can. Maybe that's why my hair looks like this. So when I say that I recognize a great slacker anthem, I grew up in the era of Pavement, okay? And this is absolutely, absolutely a perfect slacker anthem. I'm feeling good today, I ate before noon. I think that's pretty good for me. Reminds me of my favorite lyrics ever written by my singer and songwriter of the band I used to be in. Don't look us up, we're not on the internet. His lyric was, I've been standing around with the dishes. Like that's the slacker anthem, you know? I ate before noon, that's pretty good for me. But then she goes one step further. I'm gonna see my brother, he's got a new girl, but he's good at making time for me. She's just talking. This is just a blog. This is just a blog post. Hey everybody, it's your Hey everybody, it's your BFF, Faye Dubs, and I'm here to tell you about my day. I'm feeling pretty good. I ate before noon, which is pretty good for me. I'm gonna go see my bro. He's got a new girl, but he's always making time for me. I need to stop recording on Mondays. I'm just weirder on Mondays. I might open up my doors. I got an exterminator, so it doesn't matter if bugs come in. That way my dog, it's like she's explaining something complicated to someone who's like not understanding. That way my dog goes outside. Listen, my neighbors know his name. I thought that was weird, but I'm over it. Faye? Yeah. You know those aren't lyrics, right? You're just talking, right? Yeah, but Yachty showed me. I can just say, I thought that was weird, but I'm over it. And it's perfect. It matches perfectly. She's telling a boring story, but she's telling it in a meaningful way. And telling a boring story in a meaningful way transforms it into something not boring. Much like the movie Slacker by Richard Linklater, which if you've never seen it, whoo, is that a good movie. Whew. He never topped it. He tried. He got nominated for Oscars and all those other things, but that first movie. I got paid yesterday. I'll probably buy something dumb because I'm pretty childish, but all my friends are the same. Just find us something to do, find a new hobby just to ditch it. This goes back to that whole problem of adulting, what to do with money, how do I do this, the childishness, the sort of state of arrested development that we are all in and kind of stuck in as consumers, because it's easier for companies to keep us in a state of arrested development where we just don't grow up and where we have an office and we have a full-time job, but yet somehow we're just surrounded by toys and little gadgets and little doodads that we just buy and we just play with because that's what we do. You know? What, you think I could be a French professor and not have a little plastic figure of King Hippo? You must be crazy. All right? This is an interesting comment on the halted state of arrested development that all young people are because of corporations and the need to keep on buying stuff and to try to fill up the emptiness. But it's great. You know, there's this great piano that comes in, accents, the whole album's quite jazzy. Speaking of jazzy, we get the next track, Lifetime, more jazzy cool, another endless song. And much like the first track, it's just endless. More auto-tune, nice kind of trill on the snare. She says, in a lifetime, 22 times. It's another song that's too long, but I enjoy that it's too long. Next track is called He Loves Me, Yeah. A very upbeat, sort of, oh geez, I thought I muted my computer, sorry about that. I don't edit in case this is your first time watching, so that should explain a lot of the things you don't like about this video so far. It's not just about the hair or my weak ass ring. It's not even a square. It's a rectangle. So He Loves Me, very simple, very sparse, kind of reminds me of Rock and Roll by Velvet Underground, kind of a late era Velvet Underground song. I really like the way the end of each line is paired with this like auto-tune, yeah. It reminds me a little bit of like a cross between Macho Man, Randy Savage, and James Hetfield from Metallica, just like a yeah. Like, yeah, you can say yeah. While you're at home, you can say it. If no one's around you, okay, you can do it. You can just give me one good yeah, and you'll see the power that she's unleashing with this song. 3, 2, 1, yeah. Feel free to put that in the comments as well. And just the way that my baby loves me, yeah. He loves me, yeah. He actually told me, yeah. He told me that. You know, just this awesome love, this enjoyment that she has of being loved. It's very simple. It's very simple what she's saying here. Musically, it's pretty simple. I do like the outro with some nice piano sounds. We got our own house and we sleep upstairs. We take a walk and then he brushes my hair. This just love and desire and just apparently he owes her money, but she forgets about it. That's rough. Shouldn't have made it into the song. That's just, that's my only... My baby loves me, yeah. I really like the way he holds me down. I pick his face out when he's in a crowd. He pumps my gas so that I don't get out. It's just a nice, sweet song. I actually just finished the almost 3-hour video by ContraPoints about Twilight. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. It doesn't really have anything to do with Twilight or vampires. It's all about female desire and the different relationships that women and men have to each other in terms of power. In my opinion, this is the exact song to listen to after listening to that. This whole idea of pumping gas so I don't get out, what's all sort of coded in here in terms of female desire and what is it to be loved. Having your hair brushed, woo, woo. What was it that Natalie said? Natalie said something like, wants to be the mommy to the daddy, something like that. Anyways, eBay purchase history. That's that sense of humor, that dry sense of humor. This has, there's these little things, that are these like little ribbed percussion deals, for my pleasure, and they're like sticks, and they have like little ribs on them, and you play it with the stick, and it's been proven. You can only do one rhythm with those things. I don't know why. Scientists have tried to make any other rhythm. They've tried. They can't. It has to be. And that's what there is here. Nice simple guitar ditty, no different parts, just layers of the song. Again, she's distracting herself to stay interested in life. This is that paradox that we have in modern civilization, late stage capitalism, where essentially we just keep trying to fill up the hole with things that we buy, but the more things we throw into the hole, the deeper the hole gets. I'm always bored and I'm never satisfied. That's what she says. And then at the end, she's thinking about the past. I can smell my old apartment. It's nice to have familiarity. Like, she's never really in the present. She's always just trying to buy stuff and feel alive, and she doesn't. Next track is the title one, Underdressed at the Symphony. A little bit more soulful on this one. Again, just great space. I love, I think it's pedal steel on here. Nice little production. Okay, so with an album like this, that's so restrained, the full symphony orchestra hit in the middle of this song sticks out like a lot. And I think that's nice. The whole album is not filled with these little moments. It really is here in this moment. And even this image, being underdressed at the symphony, we're back again in that difficulty of being in an adult space, not knowing how to be a proper adult. You'll notice I am overdressed for a YouTube video. I'm actually overdressed for being a professor. No one dresses in suits. I had to ditch the tie because I just looked like a square. But anyways. Yeah, so I've been underdressed at the symphony. The feeling that you have, the kind of embarrassment of like, oh geez, am I supposed to be something else? Am I not following the societal rules? And I love at the end the way her voice matches the strings, the little concert piano outro. The final track is Time. Another song about boredom, about dissatisfaction. I woke up naturally, I forgot what I dreamed. A little enjambment there. I don't know what to do, I'm alone, but what's new? I got time with the flute on each and that's what she has. That's what she gives us. This album has time. It's not about changes or my generation. It's about time. What she has with it, what she does with it. Okay. Happened to be weird, but happened to be while I was reviewing this album, I was listening to it, I was reading the lyrics on Genius.com, and if you don't know, they have lots of pop-up ads. And one of them was that new Aubrey Plaza ad, the Mountain Dew one. Don't drink Mountain Dew, by the way. That's my sponsor. You're fine. You're fine. Just drink some water. You're good. You're good. You want caffeine to drink some coffee? You're good. Don't. It's just not worth it. Eat candy. Candy's great, but don't drink candy. That's a waste of calories. You can just enjoy the hell out of candy. Why waste it on a drink? Anyways, Aubrey Plaza's commercial for Mountain Dew, and it made me realize that Aubrey Plaza also fits into the zone, that kind of fascinating boredness. Like there's something kind of Plaza-ish about this music. And I'm not just the sort of like, you know, attractive brunette thing going on. It's sort of more like a kind of dryness. Even if you watch the videos for this album, with the exception of the one with the old Yachty, no, even that, like her affect is always kind of like very kind of flat, but you know there's like a whole bustling world of happening behind it. All right, what am I going to call this video? The Aubrey Plaza of rock, or this album is boring and it's okay? I don't know. Who cares? All right, I got to go to Academic Senate. It's my life. So till next time. I got to rebuild the Arc de Triomphe. There's the camera.